Hi everyone, in this form focused video, I don't want to focus on a particular exercise, but on the imbalances that I'm going to be spending more time to try to fix to the best of my ability. I think I always will be imbalanced in some ways, but I think I can work to make myself a little bit more balanced. And let me talk about that more specifically, because right now that's way too general. So if any of you follow my stuff for any length of time, you should probably realize that my squat is really low compared to what my deadlift is, because I'm really back and hamstring or posterior chain dominant compared to what I have as far as strength in my quads. Now for someone like me, I need to put a lot more focus on my quads in order to bring up both my squat and also my deadlift, because I think that having stronger quads will allow me to get the bar off the floor on a deadlift a lot faster, and obviously it will help my squat as well to put my body in better positions and allow me to just squat more with it if I have stronger quads. And I think that not only will it help the squat and deadlift, also help with cleans and Olympic lifting or weightlifting as well. So I think it will help in all these different areas. But I think in the past, my idea for fixing imbalances, because I've always been aware, I mean, I'm not stupid. I know that my squat is way behind what my deadlift is. Any idiot could could see that. It's just a number game at that sense, at that point. But what I saw in a recent video at Juggernaut Training, and I'll put a link to that down below, is that I was thinking about training my quads not completely wrong, but in a way that wasn't as efficient as what I could be. And so what I mean by that is that if you watch a lot of my squat videos, particularly like my older videos when my form wasn't as good, one of the things that I would do is that my knees would shoot back, and then my butt would shoot up, and then all the weight would kind of go into my back, and I would kind of good morning it up a little bit. And it's because I was really posterior dominated, and my body would try to lift it as efficiently as it could, and it would lift it where my body was strongest, so on my back and butt and hamstrings and whatnot. But what I need to do a lot more is to work on my quads specifically, and that means really focusing in when I'm doing high bar, but also doing things that are quadricep specific and that can take my back completely out of the equation. Because what I have noticed recently as I've done a lot more high bar is that I have a tendency to get hunched over as the weight becomes more difficult. As I start to struggle, my body hunches over more, my hips want to come up, and I have to really fight that in order to do the weight with good form and to use my quadriceps a lot more. So it's something that I need to do a lot more focus on, and the way that I'm going to work on that a lot more is just quadricep isolated exercises. And so one thing that I tried the other day were some hack squats and also some lunges. I think I don't like doing lunges, and and I hadn't done them in a while before I did them the other day. But I want to do a lot more lunges and a lot more unilateral type movements like that. Just to really, because everything you do is kind of with two legs and straight up and down with that, and I think it'll just be more beneficial to kind of get different movements in that regard, and it will also help to put some more strain on my quadriceps since I don't use them enough, or I need to build up the strength in those. And I also think just focusing on squats and like pause squats and different things will help as well, and just really focusing on keeping my torso upright, because when I'm able to do that, then my back feels better, so then that means I'll be able to deadlift better, and two, that means I'm using my quadriceps a lot better. So I think that focus will help my squat a lot, and I'll continue to grow like I have been as far as that goes. But I also think it will help with the deadlifts, because in the past, my biggest issue with deadlifts, obviously, like once you get to the sticking point of my back rounds, obviously that's an issue, but I think that will always be something as the weights get heavier and heavier, and if I get to a weight I fail, it will be because my back generally rounds. But I think one of the things that can help that is having more speed off the floor into that point, so I can get past that sticking point a little bit easier. Because if you watch any of my heavier deadlifts videos, is that usually when I first start pulling, nothing happens. It takes like a brief second or a brief moment for the weight to start moving up off the floor. And I think the reason why I have that delay in my lift, I can't be as explosive when I'm getting the bar directly off the floor, is simply because I can't get my quadriceps in the movement at all, because it goes immediately to my back, which is obviously the dominant part of a deadlift, but I'm not getting hardly anything out of my quadriceps simply because the weight is way more than what my quadriceps could help out at. So I think by building up my quadriceps, I'll help the weight off the floor, it'll help me get past the sticking point a lot more, and I think it will just generally help my back health a lot more. Not that I'm having like huge back issues, but I do notice that after deadlifts and after squats that my back will get sore. And it's usually not like crazy pain, but I mean, it's just sore because I used it. But I think as my quadriceps get stronger, that my quadriceps will get more sore and that my back will get less sore. I'll probably always, be sore in one or the other or both, but I think that just building my quads will help that imbalance. And I think that's something that I haven't focused on as well as I could in the past. And that Juggernaut video was really good for getting me to think about my training for my quadriceps in a different way and think about accessories for it, and not just think, well, I'll do front squats because I can still use my back and my hips can shoot up when I do front squats. Well, I'll just do safety bar squats. Well, I can still cheat and use my back on those. So really isolating the movements for my quadriceps so I can't cheat using my back, and just really try to build them up and try to get that balance as fixed as I possibly can, because I've noticed a positive effect when I've thought about the imbalance between my bench press and rows, and also bench press and overhead press as well, although those are pretty similar movements. But as I've done more rows, as I've done more overhead press and push presses and different things like that, I've noticed that my benches felt easier, and I think I've gotten stronger. Actually, I can say I've gotten stronger at that movement since I've started doing more overhead pressing stuff. So I think it will have a similar benefit that my upper body stuff has had to my lower body movements with that, and it's always going to be beneficial to strengthen a weakness with that, because what's Mark Bell say, that strength is or weakness is never strength and strength is never weakness, or something like that. But anywho, so I know this may seem like a confusing form focused video, although this is only my second official one, but it isn't really focused as the title would hint. But I think, at least I think, that a little bit of it makes sense. So hopefully it made sense what I was talking about with you. And if you have any thoughts or comments about what I talked about, leave them down below. And I'm also curious what any of you have done to work on imbalances, if you would have them between a deadlift and squat, or different imbalances, even different arms, any imbalances that you may have. I want to know about them all. So leave those down below, as well as your thoughts. And that's really about it. So as always, thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.